Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another tropical forecast here by Asian Weather Forecast. And we now have tropical depression confirmed by the National Hurricane Center. So, really watching, could it possibly be Nana? That's exactly what we're watching here. And that's exactly what the National Hurricane Center predicts, and conditions seem favorable. We also have some new latest updates on Invest 99L. The new GFS actually loaded. So, we're going to be looking at the global models as well today. But 99L, really watching, could it be named before it interacts with Central America, and could possibly be Omar. That will be the name after Nana. So that could actually make a huge lead over 2005 here. So really watching whether these both could be named, and the answer is yes. But hurricanes, it doesn't look like any of these would be hurricanes, nor are the conditions favorable really, or time consumed. The time management really isn't there. But before we get into the video, please subscribe if you're new, hit the like button and the post notification icon. But without further ado, let's get into this tropical forecast. Also, guys, I apologize for talking fast in this video. I actually am a little rushed. I don't have much time for this video, so I do apologize. So this video will possibly be rather short. But you see, tropical depression 15 now off the coast of the Carolinas here. Could possibly definitely be Nana. It actually has a very good chance to be tropical storm Nana here, and that's not going to interact with any land, not Bermuda, not the United States. Just going to go out to sea here. Kind of what we had those other storms like Dolly or Edward do there, up there into the northern Atlantic. And as you see, Invest 99L has an 80% chance now for the next 5 days, and a 70% chance in the next 48 hours. So possibly, there's a good chance we could have Tropical Storm Omar. What I mean Tropical Storm Omar, I don't mean like a 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm. I mean to the point where it can get named. So both of these will probably be rather weak tropical storms, so they won't be catastrophic. They won't be really huge. They're just going to be some kind of low-end tropical storms. It's going to be very weak, maybe 50 miles an hour, 55, 40. You know, it's going to be low-end tropical storms, but to the point, obviously, where they get named because they get tropical storm force winds here. But you see, really watching at the western Atlantic, it's expected to possibly form from from this whole circle right here to the X, or form right before interacting there with areas near Belize, Mexico, Nicaragua, and even Honduras right there. Could even see some effects there, possibly some rain showers here. So here's like a tropical depression 15. It's actually not even that impressive. It's a little blob right there, guys. That's a little blob. That is our tropical depression. I know it doesn't look that good, but it does have somewhat have the formation, I guess, to call it a tropical depression. We all know it has the winds here. But let's check out now. Actually, we're going to go ahead and skip that high resolution, but we're going to take a look at Invest 99L. This actually looks a lot better, actually, than Tropical Depression 15. It has a lot of convection here. The center is most likely around right here. That's around where the center, actually, that's a mistake. The center's around, possibly around right here. I actually put the wrong year. Around right there. But we are starting to see a lot of convection, even some dark pinks and purples there. For a portion of the northern low pressure. It is looking pretty good. It actually has a pretty good formation. Seem like it's trying to get some counterclockwise movement around all four quadrants, which will obviously make it officially a tropical cyclone here. But really watching out, because it does seem like Invest 99L obviously it went kind of through a ripping phase, its lower phase earlier today, but it actually now found its new low pressure, kind of connected these two areas right here. That's kind of where that low pressure connected there. Now you see it seems like it's around a little bit more to the west, obviously, but kind of where I highlight that low pressures are most likely around right here there, or maybe even a bit more to the west. Most likely our low pressures right there, but this seemed to look a pretty decent, obviously a pretty nice looking Invest. Obviously you can expect much, but actually for an Invest, it does look pretty good, and it could possibly be tropical depression rather soon. But look at that. Looks pretty good to me, and I mean it has the convection. Maybe we can see a little bit more center convection here to make it really confirmed, and for enough formation to make it to the point where it could get those tropical storm winds here. But it does seem to look pretty good here. So here's now the National Hurricane Center cone and timing, and as you see, they do predict a tropical storm here from the storm as early as 2 a.m. tomorrow. So definitely seems like this could be named when we wake up tomorrow here. So you see, like I said, not going to impact any land, and could be a long-lived tropical storm from tomorrow all the way up to Saturday, possibly being post-tropical, but still being named. But really seems like it's going to be a pretty long-lived storm. So we're going to be seeing the name Nana a lot this week. But you're just not going to see many videos on this because obviously it's not going to hit any land. It's going to be rather weak. So this could be possibly either the second to last video or last video on Nana or on Tropical Depression 15 that had a very, very good chance to be Nana. And I think we could possibly already, if you really could possibly say it could be Nana tomorrow. But soon to be possibly Nana tomorrow. That's probably the last video to talk about this. But you see, gonna go out to sea there. But there it is. So now this is a tropical depression. We actually have a better idea of when this will be a tropical storm, and actually we have a better. It's more likely to the point where we can actually call it a named storm or to be named because we actually have the cone. We actually have a lot of the data now. But as you see, tropical depression 15L. A lot of the models do get us to either at least a low-end tropical storm or a borderline tropical storm. Like I said, it's going to be rather weak. It could be to the point where it's literally 40 miles an hour and at its peak. I mean, but as you see, this is the line here. A lot of the models start to lead more. As you see, we have a lot more models into the intensity guidance. So once we get a lot of the models, that's when they become a little bit more trustworthy here. But I do agree. I think this could be at lower than 50 miles an hour. I would be surprised if it gets to 60 miles an hour. But really, it really just depends on how this thing is going to go. But I do see it being below 60 miles an hour, maybe 40 to 50 miles an hour here. So it shouldn't be too shabby. The only really threat, obviously, will be the rain for Central America, as even a little bit of rain could do some damage with landslides. But the highest models intensity-wise show 50 miles an hour. Like I said, it's going to be pretty weak. It's going to maybe be a short-lived system here as it does start to interact with Central America rather soon. It should be to the point where it starts to weaken. Oh my god, guys, I thought I was talking about 99L. Oh my gosh, I'm talking about 15L. Oh my gosh, I do apologize. I thought I was talking about 99L for some reason. I just blanked out. Okay, yeah, Tropical Depression 15 obviously gonna be pretty I see the models kind of do so being a little short-lived. Oh my god, I apologize, guys. I thought I was talking about 99L for some reason. I know I started off with it being starting off with Tropical Depression 15. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But like I said, the National Hurricane Center does show it being long-lived, but the some of the intensity guidance do show it being kind of rather short-lived. We do have a lot more improvement, though. We do have a lot more improvement with them actually getting this to a tropical storm. We have 3 models yesterday show that. Obviously, yeah, 3 models, all models show tropical storm yesterday, but you gotta really wait when actually a lot more models get on these storms, because when the first advisory comes out, it's really not that super trustworthy here. But as you see here, now they're kind of more reasonable. As we saw yesterday, a lot of show Cat 1, Cat 2. Like I said, you gotta wait until the next coming advisories come out. But like I said, Tropical Depression 15 to possibly go out in the Atlantic, obviously, and kind of be either a really rather weak tropical storm. And kind of National Hurricane Center and intensity models are kind of debating whether it's going to be long or short-lived. I do believe this could be rather long-lived because of the conditions, and it seems to be rather favorable. We shouldn't really have much shear, and that dryer should be all the way up to the north there, so this should be good. All right, now we're talking about 99L. Could be interacting with areas near Nicaragua in the Honduras borderline shore area as early next 48 hours, but going to kind of head more towards the Nicaragua area, so kind of heading toward more Nicaragua, and it's going to even affect areas near Belize, Honduras, El Salvador, all the way down here near El Salvador. You guys can get some potential impacts here, and even Guatemala as well right here. So going to be seeing some decent impacts. Obviously, rain seems to be the biggest threat. I wouldn't really say winds, because once the point it gets really far inland, and it probably makes the landfall was maybe 40, 50 mile an hour storm, it could be rather weak here. But yeah, that's what we're showing with the tracks. Then you see intensity with 99L. Only one, and it's a ship, which usually overdoes storms. To usually they have a history of overdoing storms, but as you see, they do show a Category 3 here. But yesterday, like I said, I got the distance confused. So I know you're probably gonna get confused too. But like I said, with 99L, we saw that 3 models were on this, and all 3 show Cat 1. But like I said, we gotta wait for a couple more advisories until you get the not the most accurate, but a lot more accurate than the first advisory. And you see a lot of these are getting this to a tropical storm or not hurricane. I really think that 99L probably won't be a hurricane. Really, it doesn't really seem like it has the time. It does have the time to get to a moderate, maybe even high-end tropical storm, maybe 60, 65 miles an hour. But I don't think it has enough time to the point where it could be a hurricane. We know it's going pretty far south, where it's really not. It's not too far from what Gonzalo did. We saw Gonzalo kind of. It didn't make landfall in South America, but it interacted with South America and died off. That dry air came into factor as well. But I just don't think this could be a hurricane. It's not like the conditions aren't favorable. It's just it doesn't have enough time, really, if that makes sense. Obviously, it has conditions favorable to the point where it could be a strong tropical storm. See, one shows hurricane, but the rest show tropical storm. Even some don't even show this forming. We have a good amount of models still showing this not even forming here, like I said. So that's like I said, we have to watch out if these could be named. We can't guarantee these to be named. That's why I'm kind of really watching if they could be named. Conditions-wise, like I said, waters have actually significantly cooled off a good. Or not significantly, have cooled off a little bit here. We now have spotches of 28 degrees Celsius and 29. We actually have We had a couple spotches a couple days ago, up to 30 degrees Celsius down here, and more widespread 29 degrees Celsius. Like I said, this is going to be a rather. It's going to be about the time. I'm not sure about these waters being enough to really go from invest to a hurricane before landfall in around 60-ish hours. I know we all saw Laura, but obviously this is a different region, different scenario. Speaking of, these waters off Cuba and between, from waters from Cuba up to Bermuda, they're really blowing up these waters. Extremely warm every single day. They've gone warmer and warmer, or at least more widespread here. And obviously we have Tropical Depression 15 right here. It's going to be heading into up to spots at the 30 degrees Celsius, 29 degrees Celsius, and as it heads into cooler waters, could very well. That's the point where it becomes post-tropical, and then later back to Tropical Depression. So here, look at the models here, or the GFS at least. There it is, the 18Z run. As you see, there they show 99L, 1010 millibars, and they show there is Tropical Depression 15. At that moment, could very well be Nana. And then you see that's going to be going just way north of Bermuda, not going to be impacting any land. And GFS shows in the next, this is actually the next, let's see if this can move for me, the next 42 hours, and there's 1,009 millibars. I really think it's a little too far south. The waters are extremely warm. I know there's 28, 29 degrees Celsius. That's pretty darn warm. I just don't know with the position this is at. It has the time to become a hurricane here. I really don't think this will be a hurricane, but obviously weather can throw a curveball at us, so don't take my word 100% if you don't want to. And then CMC, there we have Tropical Depression 15, and then I see they do show possibly skinning off the areas off the Honduras coast there, and even Nicaragua and those general coasts there by around 48 hours, and then going to be probably could even end up in the Eastern Pacific there, but it had to go through a lot of land. So I don't think we're gonna be seeing a respawning of this storm here. Let's actually check out the moisture. Like I said, there's actually a little drier to the west of here. Like I said, conditions aren't the most unfavorable and aren't the most favorable, but they are pretty favorable for this to possibly be at least a tropical storm. Maybe at most high end tropical storm. I really don't think this has a chance to be a hurricane. There's going to be possibly at the point right before a landfall, this dryer gets into the storm here, or system. So that's exactly as well. Conditions aren't the worst. They aren't, but they aren't the most favorable. So with the speed of the storm, with the position it's at, I just don't see a hurricane. And it seems like this could possibly open up right before landfall here, and that's going to really take the storm apart. But on the other hand, tropical depression 15L, pretty nice amount of moisture. Like I said, drier to the north, so really has a chance to possibly be a long-lived tropical storm there. But yeah. Well, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye, guys.